I am sure that many parents can identify with this comment that my child is struggling with creative writing. And I want to just take you back a bit to when they were toddlers, infants. You would have read to them. They would have heard stories, Cinderella, Peter Pan. They would have looked at cartoons, Paw Patrol. And it says that they would have been exposed to stories from a very early age. So then, why is this struggle existing? And the answer to that is this: we are not teaching skills, the actual skills for developing writing. What we are doing, we are giving them vocabulary, we are putting things on the board, we are putting questions forward, and we are telling the children to write. We are explaining what setting is, what characters are, and write. But there is no clear process for them to say, okay, I can use this and I can follow this and write. So this is something that we have to look at. And in this video, I want to address how we can change this struggle. And it really and truly lies on two major things. Number one, we have to re-engage our children and get them to love stories, get them to want to be excited. That mindset change is the first order of business, because think about it. You wouldn't want to do something that you wouldn't like to do. And so it's the same for the kids. Yes, they have to do it. But if we can change their approach to stories, to the writing, that is the first measure of success. Because when they change their mindset, they are going in with a positive mindset as to write their stories. Now, how we can do this? Firstly, we make links. So you let them know that the books that they read, the movies that they look at, the television shows, these are all stories. They're all stories. And let them know that they can write about these things. They're video games. These are all plot ideas. And when they make that linkage, they are not going to be mindlessly looking at television shows or listening to something that you're reading to them. They're actually going to start to make connections. And talking about connections, how can they actually make these connections? That's the next step. And so I spoke about the actual process, teaching skills. And what I would have discovered is that in teaching writing and teaching the development of certain aspects of the writing, they have to understand certain components, such as the elements of the story. So I would have created a formula for them to memorize the elements, so that formula is crisp. So again, when they're looking at television, they're playing their video games, they're going to be thinking crisp. CRISP stands for characters, conflict, the setting, the resolution, the point of view, and the plot. So they're going to be thinking crisp and linking, oh, that's my character, that's the main character, that's the minor character, oh, this is what the character does. So they're going to be linking the things that they learn about character development, about the elements of the story, and they're going to be seeing that now translated into their writing, making the process easier, because now they have actual learned skills on how to examine the elements of the story. There are formulas for the character development, that is PAPD. They look at the characters, their physical features, their actions, what they do, personality, the emotional response, dialogue. So now they're looking, they're reading, and they're pulling these things out. So it's coming in their minds, they're making the linkages. And also with setting the five senses, so they're going to be able to now again make the linkages. So when they start to write, the ideas are here and they are clear. The descriptions are here, they are clear, because they would have been mapping patterns from the skills that they would have learned. So when we teach writing, we have to teach skills, and these skills are not in a vacuum. It's not just for the subject creative writing, it is for all aspects of their everyday lives. When they experience in a day at school, that's an entire story. Who were the characters that day? What happened next? The sequence of events. And that is an actual story. So we don't have to have our children struggle. The first order of business is to re engage them and let them love creative writing, because they need to see that this is part of their everyday lives. And once they see it that way, that is going to change their approach. Once the mindset changes, we now have the actual steps, processes, and formulas that I would have created to help our children write and develop their writing skills. So they're going to learn about the elements of the stories. They're going to learn about the formulas for developing character. They're going to learn about the strategies for developing setting, the plot development formula, and they're going to put all of that in, combine them, and they're going to enjoy the process of their writing, because now they can see all of the things that they have in their minds. They have now the tools to put it down on paper. And that is how we are going to change the game for creative writing. So if you have a child who is struggling with creative writing, there are things that you can do. Number one, re-engage their focus and their approach to the subject. And number two, introduce them to some actual skills that will help them write and write with confidence.